What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, real recently, either on social media or maybe here on YouTube, I read a headline that made me chuckle to myself just a little bit, and I'll explain why when we get into the video. Something along the lines of, will the MCU end, or does the MCU have an end in sight? Although, you can forgive anybody for asking that question. Avengers Secret Wars certainly seems like it has a finality to it, but with that right around the corner, the confirmations we've already gotten, well, it seems like it's safe to say Marvel Studios will continue to be making films into multiple sagas after the one we're in now with the Multiverse Saga. And officially, yesterday, Marvel added brand new dates to the slate, confirming, yes, there is a Phase 7, there is a saga after Avengers Secret Wars, there's a feature of the MCU. We're going to talk about where these confirmations came from, what they are, because we know specifically what's going down in that first year after 2025 in Avengers Secret Wars, and what this means for the MCU going forward, a possible reboot, and the introduction of the X-Men. We're breaking it all down, Marvel Phase 7 in the MCU, but first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, that's all we do, everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews, to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. We just announced a brand new winner days ago. If you missed that video, I'll link it at the end of this. Again, all you got to do, hit the sub button, leave a comment, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So yesterday we covered some changes to the existing slate both at Marvel, Disney, and Sony. Today we have brand new dates put on the calendar. This is now Marvel Studios' official 4 release dates after Secret Wars in 2026. February 13th, Untitled Marvel Movie. May 1st, Untitled Marvel Movie. July 24th, Untitled Marvel Movie. November 6th, you guessed it, Untitled Marvel Movie. Again, this is 2026 after the conclusion of the Multiverse Saga and Avengers Secret Wars in 2025 and the beginning of Marvel Phase 7. Keep in mind though, as I've said every video, I still think they're going to push that Secret Wars film to the beginning of the following year, but this still confirms a future beyond that in the beginning of the next saga, which brings me back to my initial point in the prologue of this video about contemplating whether or not the MCU is going to end. There was wide reports earlier this year, and Kevin Feige confirmed Marvel Studios went on one of their famed retreats, which they hadn't done in quite some time, to plan out the future of the MCU, and said they were doing so for the next 10 years. Regardless of that confirmation, it's pretty obvious that Disney Plus has staked their future on Star Wars and Marvel content, with those two taking a huge appropriation of their budget for filming. So you can be certain there will be a ton of Marvel content coming past the end of Avengers Secret Wars, and what looks like at least 2 more sagas that they've started planning for. Now, while details are scarce about what exactly happens after Avengers Secret Wars, there's 2 things we know. Number 1, 2026 will be the year finally Marvel Studios has no more contract obligations with Fox, which means unless they can find a way to buy out some of those actors and or someone like Hugh Jackman turns down the role of Wolverine, they're going to have to wait to bring in some of the notable X-Men, Jean Grey, Cyclops, Beast, some of the others, until that year. So no matter what happens, no matter how few X-Men we see between now, Avengers Secret Wars, and the end of the Multiverse Saga, that's when they'll start introducing those characters in full, which was corroborated by an industry insider report that we covered here at this channel, pointing to Kevin Feige looking to make Phase 7 the kickoff for what the next saga would be focused around mutants. We also know that there is a soft reboot possibly in the works. It's at least been considered over at Disney, how you bring in characters that will have been gone at this point for over a decade. You can't sell Iron Man, Captain America merch, Thor merch, if you don't have those characters actively being marketed in your biggest brands, i.e. Marvel movies. Someone like Chris Hemsworth, it would be worth considering that by the end of the Multiverse Saga, he retires from playing the character of Thor, because at that point, he'd be 20 years deep in the character. When we say soft reboot, though, we don't mean they're going to all of a sudden scrap everything, start at Iron Man 1 all over again and recast everybody. Some of these characters just showed up. Jen Walters' She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, characters like Shang-Chi and Namor, they're going to continue into the future of the MCU. You're not going to get a brand new Fantastic Four team at the end of 2024, all of a sudden for them to reboot everything in 2026. When we say soft reboot, we mean for either characters that have been gone for some time, a Tony Stark, a Steve Rogers, or a character like Chris Hemsworth's Thor needing a different actor to play him in the future of the MCU, should they want to bring him back after he's been retired, much in the way we're talking about a Tony Stark Iron Man. This is absolutely no different than what Marvel used to do in the comics all the time. Take for instance the Ultimates. When they want to bring characters that have been gone for a while back, they change the storyline, they change the parameters, they do a soft reboot, use a different universe. You have to imagine in a saga called the Multiverse Saga, and with Secret Wars presumably including a battle world that will need to be fixed when we enter the next saga in this new fixed universe, there is a awesome and excellent opportunity for Marvel Studios, if they need to reboot any of these characters, to do it at that point. And of course, you don't take Steve Rogers Captain America and replace Falcon Captain America. You just both have them in the MCU, and there's more than enough real estate, as we just talked about at the beginning of this video, for Marvel to keep going. Look, I know I just said it a moment ago, but it's not just Disney Plus that staked its future on Marvel content. They are a huge machine over at Disney. Marvel Studios is a main moneymaker and a force within the theater industry. And of course, we just saw a couple of short years ago that it doesn't take much for the theater industry to be derailed, but short of something like that, internally at least, Disney and Marvel don't keep putting huge amounts of money behind this franchise as long as it's going. So wherever there may be fears out there, as I said, it's kind of legitimate to consider. I mean, Avengers Secret Wars does seem like it could end everything. No. Marvel and Disney, as long as it's still a thing, will be putting tons of money behind it. And while everything exists on a bell curve and nothing lasts forever, we are nowhere near what the quote-unquote end of the MCU would look like, when Marvel and Disney would just no longer make that content. Marvel Comics have been a thing decade in and decade out for 50, 60 years. They're going to continue to be around. Marvel, a brand, proved itself time and time again to be able to withstand a new young generation of characters. While new characters that we may not have read as adults may not have that same staying power, a character like Spider-Man is always going to be around. The same can be said for Batman and some others, but rest assured, Marvel, the MCU proper, will stay around as long as there's movies being made at Disney, and let's hope for a while they'll still keep making movies at Disney. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments, what you think about 2 more sagas after this. How hype are you for Secret Wars? And if they can get any of the X-Men in to be a part of it, I'm calling for Wolverine. Who do you want to see make it in before that Secret Wars battle finally goes down at the end of 2025? I am all ears, of course. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. We're still giving away PlayStation 5s at the end of every 20,000 subscriber mark on the way to 1 million. Well, guys, we just gave away one 2 days ago for $980, and we are on our way to 1 million. So if you've watched a ton of my content and haven't hit the sub button yet, you might as well. Also, it'll help me achieve this goal of 1 million. Also, it enters you to win a PS5. Winners all the way around. Also, leave a comment down below, because it's truly random. More videos you comment on, better chance you have of winning. If you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you hit the like button. If not, no worries. It's all good. It's ever going to know? I'm certainly not going to know. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at IamFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name AllFires Mall. It would be awesome if you check my music out. No big deal. Thanks for checking this channel out. I appreciate that. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.